It wasn't just you hit me in the head with a hammer. You said that you were trying to kill me.
Hey, why did you hit John with the hammer?
I was trying to
kill him. And mom's like, oh, I've made this. John, what are your thoughts on your book being read and taught in classrooms?
Oh, it's crazy. I mean, it's very strange to me that my books are taught in so many English classes, and yes, it feels wildly inappropriate, to be honest. But I am a great believer in trusting teachers to make good decisions when it comes to building the curriculum that makes sense for them and for their community. So, yeah, I'm grateful. It's just really weird, like when I get emails and it's like, what are the themes and the enemies in your book, Moving to Alaska, which I have not read. And I'm like, believe it or not, I know that you are doing homework. Hey, if you could live anywhere in the universe, where would you live?
Portland is like, come on. I really do like Portland very much, but in the universe.
The universe. Yeah.
I mean, if I'd have to stay there, I'd probably say Portland, but I'd most like to visit, like, Titan.
All right.
Or Kepler 22b.
Yeah.
Extra solar planets.
Yeah.
I'd love to go to Kepler 22b.
I don't know, I saw Avatar, that seems like a bad gig.
What?
Oh, it was this movie that you didn't see.
What are your thoughts on today's current education system in the United States? I'm just going to say that one for the end.
Well, I mean, quickly, like when I was in the Netherlands, it was really interesting to be in a country that doesn't have any private schools, and so the billionaires in the Netherlands are hugely invested in public education in the Netherlands, which does affect the way spending happens. But yeah, I mean, I think that we are still in good shape, but I wish we were in better shape. I also wish that there were more equality, because the quality of education varies dramatically by where you live. Where is the weirdest place you have met a fellow nerd fighter? Asks.
It's her question. One time I was at a deli and I ordered a sandwich, and then I walked away. It was like roast beef with horseradish, and I walked away, and then I was like, Hank! And I was like, walked up and got it, and I was like, I didn't tell you my name. And he was like, you're very observant, I watch you on YouTube. And I was like, why didn't you just say that so I could be happy? Because that makes me happy. It's not like New York City where you have to be weird about things.
Can I tell you mine? One time I was in Costco with my wife and son, and I had a pizza. A young woman walked up to me, and after introducing herself, like looked down at the pizza and said, well, isn't that ironic?
I also ran into like 3 different nerd fighters the day I was humping everything in my town. I ran into a guy, I was like humping a Camaro, and the guy comes to me and he's like, you look green, and I was like, yeah, can I hump your car? Any advice on finding a nerdy or geeky date?
Come here.
March 14th.
You couldn't be in a better place.
Well, no, if it was written by a young lady who is heterosexual, it would be kind of a bad place.
Really bad. That's true. I was thinking from a straight male perspective. I don't know. I'm not. I mean,
was it a boy who wrote this?
If I've been.
No, it is not volunteering information. It's personal.
If I'd been good at that in high school, I wouldn't write the novels that I write. What would you do if zombies attacked right this minute?
Which direction are they coming from? From that, I would, hopefully I would notice first, be able to get up the aisle a significant way so that the people here could absorb the zombie. Sorry, you guys.
That's interesting, because I would stand heroically and fight.
I deserve to be shot. I deserve it today. Did you mean to leave this question?
Oh, no, do not. I'll tell you the question. So, the question is, are some religions more correct than others? Which is another question I haven't tried to answer. It's not like you question asker, it's just I don't want to
Open that bag of angry cats. What are your thoughts on utilitarianism?
Oh, great. I mean, my thoughts on utilitarianism are complex. I think it's mostly good. The problem is with the mostly.
My problem with utilitarianism is we're all like, that's a great idea, and then none of us ever do it.
Well, we can get into this later. Have you ever been to Voodoo Donuts?
I've been several times. I've been to Portland a few times. I have friends who live here, and done Woodstocks here. Anyone seen me at Woodstock? Yeah, that was awesome. And I got to have Voodoo Donuts with Will Wheaton. Nerdgasm. That was my question. Could you talk about the transformation of your relationship from sibling rivalry to sibling awesome? I did hit him in the head with a hammer once.
The transition that has to happen is that you have to stop thinking of your siblings as your rivals and start thinking of them as your teammates.
Yeah.
And so Hank and I have been teammates for a long time. And we're also very fortunate to have a bunch of other teammates in the form of other nerd fighters. So that kind of keeps us sane, I think, and like, you guys sort of direct the values of our project, and that really helps us because then we can't fight too much because all we're fighting about is what you want, and then we can just ask you. How did Hank and the Catherine meet? How do you know it was nice? Maybe she fell.
I hit her with my car.
With a
And I
hammer.
was like, I'm so sorry, man. Can I drive you to the hospital? And then she bled all over my car, and I thought that was so hot. No, I mean, we were like next door neighbors freshman year of college. She was inescapable. And yeah, that's the whole story. Did you name an abundance of Catherine? So we have the Catherine question. Before or after meeting the Catherine?
After meeting the Catherine, but before I knew that she was going to be, a big deal. I did not pick the name Catherine because of my sister-in-law. I picked it because of, it's really good for anagramming, and
Yeah.
I'm not a very good anagrammer, and the protagonist of my second novel is incredibly good at anagrams, so I had to cheat. And I did that by finding words that had the right mix of consonants and vowels to allow me, thousands and thousands of anagrams, of which some were going to be funny. Catherine contains both the word tears and the word heart, which was very useful to me. And and then the other letters, you just put a bunch of things in it, it'd be fine. Like Catherine Barker, I created someone named Catherine Barker, which anagrams to Heartbreaker Inc. Who is doing the driving?
Julie is doing the driving. Our beautiful, amazing magician wizard driver.
Wizard driver.
Yeah,
Time traveling.
You've read On the Road. It's like driving with Neil Cassidy, where you're just like, you don't realize how good someone can be at driving until you meet someone who's really great at it, and it's just a talent.
Yeah.
It's not even speed.
No, it's like she'll do something and I'll be like, we just physically passed through that other vehicle.
Yeah.
Like the nose of our car went through the nose of that car. We should all be dead. But we are not because you are a magician. She's driving the night bus. Describe the origin of the rule, no signing of other ephemera.
I have a feeling the answer to this is going to get me punished. So I'm very nervous about this clock down here. Quickly, I have no idea where that rule came from, but they invented rules along the way to try to help my hand, which has become progressively worse through the tour.
Add another rule to the list. It still hurts. Last night, John was signing, and he was like, something just went terribly wrong.
For not be able to.
He was just like,
Okay.
you just never, his hand, one of his fingers fell off, we had to get it reattached. It was, I've now gotten to monkey level experiences with this thing. Like I approach this and I'm like, no, why would I even look at that thing? No, I don't see it. It's not.
Right? So the great thing about this is you don't know how long it takes from the time you turn it on. And it can take like 3 seconds, or it can take like 40 seconds, and it never knows how long it takes, and so it just has to sit there working. And then at some point it turns green and you know it's coming. So excited. It's lasting forever. Still.